It's parents' night in. It's parents' night in. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good evening, folks. I'm Justin.
I'm Kelly.
This is Parents Night In here at enough.com.
Yeah, baby.
As always, we are watching a movie, getting a little drunk,
And staying in.
and staying in.
Because babysitters do not grow on trees.
Nor are they cheap. What are we watching tonight?
Oh, we are
I'll
watching
let you introduce it because you love this movie
one of my
so much.
favorite movies, American Hustle. And we chose this movie because if babysitters grew on trees and we could just pluck one off ripely, then we
We would become con people?
No, we would be out seeing Vice right now. And since we can't see Christian Bale and Amy Adams in Vice, I thought it would be appropriate to watch Christian Bale and Amy Adams in American Hustle, along with a fantastic ensemble cast on top of it all.
That includes another guy who is extremely relevant right now, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, and Louis C.K., but
And
not for
another
good
guy
reasons.
who's relevant for very bad reasons.
Yeah,
Louis
and Jeremy
C.K.
Renner, who's been apparently hiding. I don't know where he went.
He's he's retired from the Avengers, or so he says.
So he says. We'll see.
So this movie takes place in the late 70s. It's based on true events.
Yep.
It's very loosely based. And it's about a con man, basically. And much like Christian Bale's current film, Vice, it features a fat Christian Bale looking as unattractive as possible.
Yeah. The scene opens on his belly and his really bad comb over.
Hideous.
This movie came out, what year did it come out?
2013.
So this movie came out in 2013, and
It was nominated for more Oscars than any other movie that year, and it didn't win any,
yeah.
sadly.
What, won none?
None.
Tons of Golden Globes.
It batted 0. I don't know if it won a lot of Golden Globes either. It won a couple, I think.
I thought it did.
But it was up against really stiff competition.
It was always really fun because it's American Hustle by David O. Russell.
Yes.
And so it was always fun to hear them announce that.
Hi, Kat.
So he's finished his hair masterpiece, and it looks pretty damn good, if you ask me.
I mean, it would be so much less work to just shave it.
Yeah, but you couldn't really do that in the 70s. At the time that this came out, and still today, those are two of my favorite actors. I love Amy Adams, and I love Christian Bale. And at the time...
Yeah, they're both great.
At the time, Bradley Cooper was like the guy from Wedding Crashers still.
No.
Oh, so he did Silver Linings, right?
Yeah, he had done a bunch of stuff by then.
But still, like to me, I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see how he does in this, and he was amazing.
I think Wedding Crashers was the first thing we probably saw him in.
It is, yes.
I fucking hated him in that movie, which meant he's got something.
Yeah.
Because he was such a fucking
Great douche.
awful villain in that
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, Bradley Cooper has become quite a talent.
Right. Well, I mean, like, compare this character with the one that he plays in A Star Is Born, and they could not be more different.
Completely different. He's very chameleonic.
That's a good word you just made up there.
I know.
Yeah.
Did I make that up, or is that a word? I don't know.
I don't know. So we saw Irving setting up his hairdo, and then they're doing some kind of sting. We haven't figured it out yet because they're early in the movie.
The basic premise is Irving and Amy Adams' character are con people, con men, women, and
Con peeps, I think, is the technical term.
Con persons.
Con folk.
Yeah. Okay.
Con bros.
Con artists.
Yeah. I don't know why you had such a hard time with that.
I don't either.
I thought you were purposely avoiding that
So
phrase.
they're cooperating with the feds because they've been pinched. And this movie takes place in the late 70s, and everything about it is gloriously 70s. It's one of those movies that makes you want to go back to the 70s and just walk around for a while.
Steve Zahn.
That's not Steve Zahn. You made that mistake when we saw the movie.
Really?
It's not him.
Who is it?
I don't know his name, but it's not Steve Zahn.
Hey, it's that guy who looks like Steve Zahn. Kelly looks stuff up on Google.
So
My
Bradley
singing is
Cooper-
getting better as
Bradley
we go.
Cooper is trying to facilitate this sting operation by getting some money in the hands of the mayor so that he can bring down the mayor. And he's not at all being cool about it because he's in way over his head. Whereas Irving is a fucking professional. And he's like rolling his eyes. He's like, dude, you're fucking this up. Could you just let me take the lead, please? Christian Bale's a goddamn genius.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, there's no role he can't nail. There's no one in this room he can't nail, if we're being honest.
It's true. Who am I looking up? Oh, yeah, that guy that looks
So
like
we're
Steve
flashing
Zahn.
back to Irving's childhood, where he's been running cons his whole life. His dad was like a poor working schmuck, and he was like, I'm never going to be like that. I'm always going to have an edge. because who wants that kind of life? So they're at a party that Irving's throwing, and Amy Adams is there. She's looking particularly delicious.
She looks delicious in every scene of this movie.
Pretty much.
She explains it a minute ago, what she's all interested in him for. But she talks specifically about how, like, he's not in shape and he has a bad comb over and he doesn't care. And so that's part of why she's attracted to him, is that, like...
He doesn't even need to try.
He doesn't care.
There's a lot of the theme of reinvention in this movie.
Yes.
It's like, my life sucks, I'm just going to be someone else now.
Yep.
All these people should have just gone to Hollywood. They would have been very successful actors.
This is true.
Especially in the 70s. You didn't even have to be good looking in the 70s to be a successful actor. You just had to be a great actor.
That's true. So she gets a job at Cosmo because she says that she's totally fine with cunnilingus. And that's why they hired her.
Cunnilingus?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about no cunnilingus. That's not true. I know a lot.
Yeah, so she basically talks about how, like, she literally had nothing to lose, and she just wanted to be someone else, and she was ready to do whatever it took to get there. I envy her hair this entire movie. Like, you know, I'm drawn to her anyway because she has red hair, and I have red hair, so there's that. But her hair looks gorgeous no matter what she does to it throughout this entire movie. Stupid bitch.
Hey, you can't do your hair like that, you stupid bitch.
I don't actually think she's a stupid bitch, and I don't like to say that about girls. I just really happen to like that delivery from the Ghostbusters.
Not Ghostbusters. City Slickers.
City Slickers.
Then he shows her what he's really about, which is dealing stolen art. No, it's not stolen art. That's right.
Yeah.
It is probably stolen art, but that's not what he does. That's right. He deals in bogus loans.
Yeah. And what's crazy...
I still don't completely understand.
...is as he... well, pay attention to the movie again because they explain it. But basically...
No, I know.
He says, I'm going to set you up with a loan. And then he takes people's money.
Yeah.
And because they went about it illegally, they can't...
Oh, they can't complain.
...go to the cops.
Right.
So he basically just steals the money of really vulnerable people.
He says he's going to set him up with a loan, and then what? He says, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't qualify?
Yep.
So he just steals the down payment.
Yeah, like,
or
sorry,
whatever?
the financing fell through, or you were too much of a risk.
I see. Who would be stupid enough to put down that kind of money?
So she just said, you take $5,000 and you don't give him anything? So he's kind of telling her about his business and how it's working, and
he wants
she's
her
sort
in
of
on
figuring it out, and the look on her face is really hard to figure out, like, what she's thinking, but she looks pissed. And she's like, so basically
She looks disgusted.
You know, everybody on the bottom crosses paths eventually, and you take advantage of them.
Right.
And he's like, how about we? And she kind of just looks pissed and storms out. And he's in a panic because he's like, I fucked it up. She was awesome and I ruined it. So she arrives back in a new dress.
And then she had left because she was reinventing herself on the spot.
Yeah, so she sort of walks out, and, you know, whether she was actually upset or not, I don't know for sure, but she decides after she leaves that she wants to be a part of this, and
But as a different person.
Yep. And she tries on a new dress and changes her outfit a little bit, puts on a fake accent.
Lady Edith Greensley.
And he is, like, falling over himself with excitement. And she's
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
I kick
God."
ass, that's right.
So she is now his customer-facing agent.
Mm-hmm. And it works well because she's so gorgeous and, like...
Seductive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she, like, dresses sexy and wears the makeup and sits on the desk and kind of purrs at them. And
Oh, no, they do sell art.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
they're also selling art, and she's helping him run the dry cleaning business. They did it, and he left, and now she's sad.
She's sad because, turns out,
He's going home to J-Law.
he's married to someone way younger than him.
So here we are, like, thinking, wow, they have this perfect setup going on, but really, it's not quite perfect because...
No, he lives out in the burbs.
Yeah. And this house, the J-Law house that she lives in with her kid, that house is in Medford.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know that? We've talked about this.
A lot of this movie's filmed in Worcester, too.
Yeah, but this particular house is in Medford.
Oh. And it looks like that?
Nope. They redid it for the
Did
movie.
they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, the lady whose house this was called in to Maddie in the Morning one day on that Right Now segment that they do and talked about how, like, that was her house and everything. And she was, like, kind of pissed off because Christian Bale wouldn't sign an autograph for her. But, like, there was an agreement that if she let them do this in their house, like, she couldn't come and bother the actors. And yet she was still kind of pissed that he wouldn't give her an autograph.
Well, I mean, she knew what she signed up for.
Yeah. So he marries her and is taking care of her and her kid,
Yep.
but the kid's not his.
Oh, that's right.
And she plays a really good batshit crazy chick.
She does. The weird thing about Jennifer Lawrence, for me, I don't know how you feel about it, is she's so good at what she does that she often gets cast for roles that she probably shouldn't.
Yes.
Where she's not completely believable because she's so young.
Right.
She's not quite that young anymore, but this was 5 years ago, so
right.
She was very young here, like 24.
Did you just call a 29-year-old not that young anymore?
You know what I mean.
OMG.
Jesus.
She better hurry up and get some more roles or she won't be working ever again because she's too old.
That is not what I meant, and you know it. What I meant is 24, 25 is extremely young for a character like this. So everything about her is completely believable except for the fact that she looks so young in it. Mm-hmm. But her performances are always great.
Yes.
Even, I don't even know, I think she's about 29, probably. But even now she looks very young still.
Kelly can look it up on Google.
Go ahead.
But he's basically like...
He's married to her, but he's still like crazy in love with her. Like he can't let her go.
Right. But, and I think he's probably a little bit more in love with Edith.
Well,
with
he's
Sydney.
Infatuated with her, but he's like under J-Law's spell.
Yes.
It's like the ex that you can't seem to shake.
Right, and he says, like, she's the most amazing con artist I've ever met. Because he doesn't want to keep her. He wants to divorce her, but he can't, he can't get out of her clutches. And I literally go from scene to scene where I'm like, oh, J-Law is so much fun to watch. And then the next scene, Amy Adams shows up on the screen. I'm like, oh, Amy Adams is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the things that I love about this movie is that from start to finish, no matter who is on the screen, I'm completely captivated by them.
Yes.
Like, everybody looks so interesting. Their performances are so strong. Like, there's not a shitty performance in this movie that I remember. Maybe when we watch it today, I'll find one and I'll be like, okay, that extra over there is maybe not so good.
All 4 of the main characters were nominated for Oscars.
Right.
So Bradley Cooper showed up as a prospective mark for their loan business. And, she's all in on trying to sell him on this loan thing.
She goes to lunch with him twice, and Irving's immediately jealous.
Yeah, he's probably also in the back of his head like, this is too much. We shouldn't have to work this hard to get this guy. But turns out he's got the drop on him. Irving's spider sense, I think, is probably tingling a little bit. Oh, no. The place is surrounded by feds.
Yep, and she took the check, so she's going to take the dive.
It's the fuzz. Oh, God, it's Richie DiMasso, FBI. If there's one rule about the FBI, it's that you don't mess with Richie DiMasso. If there's 2 rules about the FBI, it's that you don't mess with Richie DiMasso and that you don't touch Richie DiMasso's perm.
Jennifer Lawrence is 28 years old.
28.
She'll be 29 on August 15th.
Wow, so she was like 22 when they shot this, probably? Mm-hmm. Her precociousness makes her, in some films, perhaps less believable than, say, someone 10 years older would be.
Yeah.
Even though the performance is really great.
So now
yeah.
She's in jail, and Bradley Cooper's trying to get her to...
They've been sweating her down for days.
Yeah, and he's trying to get some information out of her. And he's...
About Irving.
Right, well, and he's driving a wedge between her and Irving and saying,
Right.
like, he let you take the check, he let you take the fall. Don't you think that was on purpose? And maybe it a little bit was. I mean,
Maybe. I think Irving probably sensed that something was off about this guy.
Yeah.
So he's doing the classic good cop thing. I want to help you. What really...
Right, I don't want to put you in jail, I want to put him in jail.
What that really means is it'll be better for my career if I get him.
Right.
Since he's the brains of the operation, so to speak.
Right. And, as we watch this movie go on, Bradley Cooper becomes a little bit more manic because he just wants to nab these guys, and they're just a couple steps ahead of him at all times.
Yep.
And the more steps they stay ahead, the more just manic he becomes, and it's awesome to watch his character spiral.
Well, and he's hot for her, because who wouldn't be? And she knows
Right,
it.
right.
And she uses that against him the whole time. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, she has Irving watching.
Yep.
Trying to be like, she's going to turn you in, dude.
Yep. So he's playing the cards on the other side, too. If you want to save her,
playing both sides.
who you love, and you don't want her to get hurt, and you don't want her
Playing
in
both
jail.
sides, but against everybody, in bed with everybody. It's beautiful stuff, man. But Irving isn't really falling for it.
And he's, he's
now he's
thinking,
trying to
like,
get-
now we can be partners, and
Right, now he's trying to get Irving to help him nab some higher level people.
And so he makes
said-
a deal with them. If it
yeah.
helps him get bust 4 higher white-collar criminal guys,
let
then
him
he'll
go.
leave him alone.
Right. This is the scene where, like, she doesn't look glamorous at all. Because it's like...
But she's still gorgeous.
No, she is, but it's like she's stripped off everything, including her character.
Yeah.
This is her without any kind of front going.
Yeah.
And she's kind of terrifying in this scene because she's like, I can be anybody that
Yeah.
I need to be. and I will fucking fry you if I think that you are fucking with me.
Yep.
Richie's
It's gotten in her head a little bit.
he's gotten in her head.
And I think she's thinking if she can get him to agree to run away, then he's not screwing her over.
Yes.
But when he resists, she automatically assumes it's because she's going to get screwed.
Right.
When I first heard about this cast and I realized that they would be together, I was like, this is like a dream come true.
Yep.
Because I love them both so much. And I will say that throughout this movie, and you can get sick of me all you want, but guess what? You have to listen to me because this is Parents' Night and it's my goddamn show. Of course, if you press pause, you don't have to listen to me, but I would urge you not to because I have a lot of really important
Click
things.
anywhere else on this YouTube screen. You could watch anything else. But don't, please don't. She goes into her British accent and she's like, I'm going to say anything I need to say to Richie, and I'm going to be very convincing. And it's chilling.
Yeah. So now she's planting some doubts in his head and she looks a little crazy.
Yep.
But this is her defense mechanism. She's also making sure that she has a little bit of a stake in the game and the power's not all in his court.
Right. So Irving comes up with a ploy to nab a sheik.
Wait, no. The sheik is being used to nab somebody else.
That's right. Sorry.
Rewind. Start again.
So he comes up with this fake sheik character so that he can nab
The mayor?
The mayor, yes.
So, as they're standing there in the museum discussing the sheik situation with Agent FBI, Richie DeMasso, Bradley Cooper.
Agent FBI? We're going to say the whole thing backwards?
Uh-huh. They are...
Agent FBI, DiMaggio Richie.
When we first moved into our house back in 2009, not long after that, what year did The Fighter come out?
2010.
So when The Fighter came out, Wahlburgers had also recently opened around the corner, and there's a movie theater right next to it, so they had a big premiere there.
Yeah.
And the whole cast of The Fighter was at Wahlburgers, literally 3 miles from our house.
Yeah.
And we didn't go. And I will forever hate myself.
We could see the searchlights.
And the helicopters.
Yep. Damn it.
But
I wouldn't be caught dead there. Their burgers suck.
I couldn't find that guy on the filmography, and I stopped looking. So
yeah, it's not.
Kelly couldn't find him on Google.
Couldn't find him.
I don't know. I just looked up the whole cast on IMDb, and I scrolled through, and I didn't find him, and so I gave up.
Now, let me find him. She's somebody. Oh, she was in The Fighter. She was one of the sisters.
Yep. Except she probably did not look so cute.
She did not. She looked pretty gross in that, as I recall. Because all the sisters look gross.
Yeah, all the sisters were just
fucking
hideous.
MTV girls.
The sisters were hideous and yet 100% accurate.
Absolutely. If you haven't seen The Fighter, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. We'll probably have a future episode
We probably
of
will.
The Fighter. So that you poor schmucks can listen to awful Boston accents the whole movie.
Hey, Clark. You should watch The Fighter about Mickey Ward and Dickie Eklund and the MTV girl named Charlene. So you can go head, body, head.
And here's Louis C.K. So, let me go on a little bit of a rant about Louis C.K.
What's the matter with you? Here he
Louis
is.
C.K.
Shea Wiggum. That's the Steve Zahn lookalike.
Ha! That's amazing. He doesn't look like him at all.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So, Louis C.K., I've always had a very torn relationship.
Have you? Or
Yes.
is it just after he was disgraced?
No.
Okay.
When I first started listening to his comedy, I thought he was too much and too raunchy and too, purposely going somewhere just to get the attention. Mm-hmm. But then I watched a little bit of that show, Louis, and I've seen him in other things, and then he was in Secret Life of Pets, and, over time, I realized that while he is completely offensive sometimes, he does it in a way that makes you think, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
Except that now we find out that he has been serially punishing himself in front of women without their permission.
Yeah.
And
which is fucking weird. What is your
Right.
what is your end game there? Is the thing that they're going to be like, "Oh, I like the look of that. Let me climb on top."
yeah, I don't know. And he immediately went away and did the right thing.
He admitted to it. He owned up to it. He
He
said,
apologized and then
Yep.
he went away.
right.
And then
Which is more than we can say for some others.
right, but then he starts booking gigs again.
But yes, he's,
My thought was, okay, this is good. Maybe he can kind of
he
slide himself
starts
back in.
doing the offensive just for the sake of being offensive thing.
I don't know that he's doing it just for the sake of being offensive. I think that there's got to be someone who used to work for him who would help him walk that line properly, who said, fuck it, I'm out of here, because somebody should have stopped him.
I don't know that that's true.
Someone should have stopped him from saying these things.
I don't think most comedians have like an editor.
He has proven that he thinks he somehow is immune to consequences, and that bothers me.
I don't know that that's what he thinks. I don't know that that's the impetus behind it. I mean, it could be a calculated thing, like, they're pissed at me that for this one thing that's pretty awful, let me do this other thing that is offensive but less awful, and they'll be pissed at me for that instead.
Really?
And they'll sort of forget about this other thing.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
I think that could be it.
Either way, it's disappointing, and now I'm mad at him.
The smart thing on Louis' part would have been to just do a set that didn't involve anything that was going to very clearly piss off some of the same people he had already pissed off.
Yeah. So we started talking about Louis C.K. because he was in...
Louis C.K. is Bradley Cooper's boss.
Right, and Bradley Cooper was in his office saying, I need more funds, I need more budget.
And he's a wet blanket.
Yeah, and he's a hilarious wet blanket. His character in this movie is amazing.
Well, I mean...
I hate that I hate
the last
him so
thing I'm
much.
going to say about Louis C.K., regardless of anything else, he's a fucking brilliant comedian.
He is. He's a brilliant comedian.
I will never take that away from him, whatever.
And he's able to pull off these really subtle performances
Yes.
that are impressive.
He's a pretty great actor
Yeah.
in this type of role.
Right. So he goes into Louis C.K.'s office. He's asking for more funds, more time, more money, because he's going to nail Carmine Polito.
Yes.
Carmine Polito.
Carmine Polito is the...
He's the mayor.
He's the mayor.
And he gets intel from the Steve Zahn lookalike guy, whose name is Chuck Woolery.
Chuck Woolery.
And Chuck Woolery says, we can take down Carmine.
It's time to play match game. No,
Right.
the dating game, sorry.
So whoever they were planning to take down, the Steve Zahn lookalike says, we can take down someone bigger, Carmine Polito, and he kind of reels in Bradley Cooper.
Yes. And Louis C.K. is pissed because he's being told you have to give him more money, and he doesn't want to.
Right. He's like, I just got a call from my boss thanking me for something that never should have happened.
Yeah.
And so there's this weird relationship between Bradley Cooper and Louis C.K. where Louis C.K. is like, I'm mentoring this kid, and he's totally overshadowing me.
Yes.
And Bradley Cooper's trying to talk him into keeping it simple, and Irving's like, no. You want to do this, we do it my way. So there's this power struggle happening between the two of them. So anyway, she's all sprawled out on her kitchen counter.
With
her legs open, waiting for him.
He's like,
and she's clearly trying to seduce him, but
yes.
If she was not so in love with Irving, she probably would take advantage of the situation right now.
Yes.
But you never know if you can trust her because she's so good.
That's right. Because she's a con person.
She's a con folk. A con mistress?
She's a consternarian. What?
Contrarian?
Contrarian. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah. So they come about this close to full-on making out. Bradley
like, nope.
Cooper pulls away and was like, wait a minute, this is my job.
I need to keep this professional until it's over, and then stuff's going to happen.
You know he's going to go and either like punch a brick wall or take a really cold shower.
Or, pound his pud.
Okay.
I mean...
And I can't, he leaves and you can't tell if
taking
she's
about 8
like...
seconds.
You can't tell if she's like scared or relieved or
here
like
we are,
torn.
Here we are at the beginning of the picture where they have Carmine in the hotel room and
Bradley Cooper slides the
Bradley
briefcase
Cooper has
across
fucked it all up by
and freaks
being
out Carmine.
overzealous, like a fucking amateur. Everyone's like, dude, are you fucking this up?
So now, Carmine Polito, who's Jeremy Renner, goes running out of the office and is like, something weird's going on here. And that leaves Irving to go clean up the mess. And Irving starts making friends with Carmine. And
yes.
This is one of my favorite storylines in the movie.
Yeah, because they become
genuinely good friends.
Yeah.
And now Irving is stuck in this awful place because he needs to F over his friend.
He's got to fuck over his new friend.
Right. That trench coat that Carmine Polito is wearing
is awful.
Very, very closely rivals the Jaws mayor's jacket.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was any intention there.
No, I think it was just the style of the time. Which was the style at the time.
If you look
I put an onion on my belt.
So Carmine agrees to do business only if he's working with Irving. He doesn't want to work with B. Coops anymore.
And
so now
Irving pulls off a stroke of genius by like sort of cutting Richie out of his own action a little bit.
Right. And he's like, he only wants to deal with me, so I get to kind of own this operation. Right. Now you have to sit in on the background. Richie hates it.
Pissed.
And the first action that they take is he and Carmine and the wives are going out for dinner, and Sydney's pissed because she's not the wife.
Right. That's how fucking shrewd Irving is he cut out both the people he suspected were fucking him over.
Right.
He's got perms.
He's doing his perm and eating chicken wings.
And he lives with his mom, who looks like a dude. What are we
And
drinking?
they brought Napoleons.
What are we drinking?
We are drinking some Rufino Prosecco because that's how we roll on Friday night Parents' Night In. It's
not drinking-
Parents' Night In.
We're not drinking it for long.
some bubs.
Some bubs. I love having bubs in my mouth.
Oh, Jesus. So he's got a fiance who's over. She came with Napoleons.
Oh, he's got a fiance. That's right.
He's got a fiance. He's sitting
What
there
is
with
a
a perm.
Napoleon?
And hold on, I'll tell you that in a second. Okay. Sydney calls. She's like, "Let's go out dancing," and he's like, "Yeah, okay, bye." And he
like, "Oh, God."
He's like, "See you, fiance. See you, ma."
Gotta get these corals out. Gotta clean the gun.
She's the worst actress. She's the one.
She's
the only non-compelling person in the whole movie.
And she's
people on their fiance, Richard.
The mayor's wife is so hot.
Oh, she's gorge. So the mayor and Irving and the wives are going out. And so Sydney's like, well, if they're going out, I'm going out. And she goes out with Richie.
We saw her in something else, too.
Oh, I looked her up. Hold on. And so what's... trying to remember what J-Law's problem is right now.
She's just uncomfortable. First of all,
she needs to have a few drinks.
She's like 22 years old. She's in the room with all these adults. It's just awkward.
She's like, wait a minute. Why am I a kid?
She's like, oh, my God. I could be watching Jersey Shore right now.
Wow.
Is that a dated reference? That's kind of dated.
Yeah, well, no, it's actually, I think it was back on for a little while this year.
Okay.
But yes, it's dated. Elizabeth Rome. No, that's not her. I'm sorry.
Turns out that she and the wife get along very well. Smell my hand.
Sweet and sour. My nails are sweet and sour.
Smell my hand. It smells like an empty pizza box that's been sitting out on the lawn for several weeks.
I am having a really hard time with this.
They're going to the disco to do some cocaine.
Woo!
Off each other's buttocks.
I don't think their buttocks are involved.
Why not? You haven't lived unless you've done cocaine off a buttock. That's what I've been told, Kelly.
Uh-huh.
By the proprietors of Club 54.
Okay.
I said, does this place have a good bathroom to do the coke in? And they said, you don't want a bathroom, you want a buttock.
Wow.
Everyone here has a good buttock to do cocaine off of.
Parents' Night is canceled. Because what the hell is this?
Because the fuzz is at our door?
Maybe it is Elizabeth Rome.
Let me look her up. Jesus Christ. You are terrible at Google. Your Google show is canceled. Kelly looks stuff up on Google is fucking canceled.
No, it's IMDb is very confusing.
Kelly looks stuff up on Google is canceled.
That was a good song.
It's Elizabeth Rome, Dolly Polito.
It is her.
Yeah.
Look how different she looks.
She looks very different out of character.
Holy crap.
I think she's got contacts in this movie to give her brown eyes.
Yeah, probably, but
Yeah.
she's
German American.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her.
I didn't think it was her.
She's been in multiple David O. Russell things.
Yeah, she was in Joy too.
That was it. Yeah.
So anyway, they're like
excuse me.
grinding on the dance floor. She goes to the bathroom and he like stumbles over there thinking like this is it.
He's like, oh, God.
She invited me out.
Let's
do this.
I have so much cocaine in my pocket, and I need to sniff it off something.
So she finally at least, gives it and kisses him. But she's like, we're not going to do it till this thing's over.
And he's ruined a good pair of pants. I think I ruined your roommate's bathrobe. I mean, my underwear.
This is my favorite scene when they sing Delilah. And they're all in the lounge and they're singing and dancing. And here he is like, fuck. He's already like, I love this guy, and now I'm messing it up. So you can tell by the look in his face, he's already like,
oh, God.
He doesn't know what he's going to do.
I'm going to fucking ruin my best friend now. That's just sad.
Right, especially because
What else was
really,
this guy on the right in? He was in something else.
he's not the bartender in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
No.
That guy's younger.
No, and much larger.
But so...
And black.
The thing... Oh, yeah. the thing... That was not even close,
Wow.
Kelly. The thing about Carmine that Irving is like hating himself for is that he actually, all the backdoor shit that he does is really for pretty good reasons. Like he wants to do good for the community, so he makes these backdoor deals to improve different, aspects of the community, whether it's building or parks or whatever.
He's Leslie Knope, except crooked.
I love Leslie Knope. So now they're out for breakfast. The sun's up. It's morning times.
They've been out all night partying,
Yeah.
singing Delilah. There'll be a lot of reps of Delilah.
My Delilah.
What's that, a 4-minute song? That's like 15 times an hour. They had to sing that song like 75 times.
I wouldn't be sad. And then they finish breakfast, and Carmine says, I have something I want to give you. And you know what that something is? A science oven.
That's right.
My favorite thing.
Science oven.
It's a microwave. I love how he's like pasta, lasagna, meatballs.
That's all Italian food, Carmine.
Yeah. Whatever.
Is that all you eat?
And then he cements it. He says, why are you giving me the science oven? He says, you're my friend. And then Irving goes, oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. He goes, oh, no.
Oh, no.
And then,
Jesus, Jen, you don't put foil in the oven.
Right, so she's walking around like, don't put metal in the science oven, Roz. Don't
What
put
an
metal in the oven.
idiot.
And then she puts the metal in there anyway and acts all surprised when there's a fire. I love they just keep calling it a science oven. Woo! And for as dumb as she is, she's very ahead of her time because she's like, it's taking all the nutrition out of our food.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she turns it into
Thank
like...
God I exposed this as the fire hazard that it is, except that I put something in there I wasn't supposed to put in.
Thank God I exploded the science oven because it was going to take the nutrition out of our food anyway. Another reason why she's the best con artist ever. So right now they are at the airport waiting to do the chic thing. And there was a rift between Irving and Edith. And now Richie and Edith are making out on the tarmac, which is like a big deal. And Irving's like trying to make it up to her. And she's like, yeah, F you.
What are you drinking, Kelly? Give up?
I don't know. Actually, because you poured it. This could be poison for all I know.
I put it in the science oven.
I should have expected that joke, but I didn't, and now I'm aspirating.
Yeah. It's called Bridge Lane Sauv Blanc.
And it came in a can.
It came in a can.
Thanks to our friend Shannon, who likes to visit us on Girls' Night In.
Who you might know from Girls' Night In.
Yeah. She gave me cans of wine for Christmas because we are classy bitches.
I am drinking Barrel House Z, our local brewery right here in Weymouth, Massachusetts.
Weymouth, Massachusetts.
It's so delicious. Barrel House Z, we can't get enough of your stuff.
Boom!
This one's called Townie. It's an Irish red ale. It's goddamn delicious.
Is it Townie in the buff or is it Townie aged in a barrel?
It's in the butt. I mean buff.
Jeez.
What?
They're in the airplane. The Sheik is
They're talking to
there.
the Sheik.
Irving is giving the Sheik a lot of information because he knows how to make this go down right.
Yep.
And it's funny because Michael Pena is Mexican, but he's playing a Sheik.
Yes. Why couldn't they cast someone who's actually a sheik, Kelly?
No. The joke in the movie is, you got this guy to play the Sheik. What are you? And he says, I'm Mexican. And he was like, how are you going to play a Sheik? And he was like, I'm an FBI agent. This is what I do. This information is important because in a future scene, we're going to revisit that situation.
Yes.
So hold on to your hats, Enougha.com fans, because we're going to blow your mind holes with something you probably already know if you've seen this movie. Oh, Dolly. That Dolly. She's a chameleon.
She got a body on her, man.
Yeah, she does.
She's a chameleon. I'm a chameleon, yeah. Uh-huh.
She's a chameleon.
I'm talking about the beat goes on, yeah. And the beat goes on, yeah.
All right, so now she's all set, and Irving's like, okay, so now I'm going to show up at this party. My girlfriend's going to be there. My wife's going to be there.
Gonna be there.
This is not going to go
This is going to be a fucking mess.
Yep. And this is...
Elton John.
Such a good song. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is playing, and every time I hear this song, my whole heart just falls out of my body.
Do you go, oh!
Oh, it's such a good song. And if you're ever stuck in a car with me when this comes on, good luck to yous. Because I'm going to be singing loud.
You're going to drive off the road?
No, I'll sing loud.
Jesus. Oh my God, is this song?
So they're standing there outside, and Bradley Cooper walks up on his date with Edith, and she looks at her and says, I know who you are.
How does she know who Edith is?
She knew. She talked about it earlier on. She knows who she is.
Okay.
She's not stupid.
Yeah.
She's way smarter than anyone gives her credit for.
Right.
So now Irving's like, he's there to do some work, and he's got some pretty serious shit to deal with that will potentially put him in jail if he fucks it up. And now he has to deal with this secondary drama. This one guy.
This guy.
This guy is the guy that bothers me. I feel like he doesn't fit with the look and feel of this movie. He looks like a 30s gangster in a 70s movie, and it really bothers me. He looks like he belongs on the Titanic.
He
does not look like he belongs in this movie.
He looks like 1920s-ish. He's got like the 20s haircut that ought to be slicked back but isn't.
Yeah. It's like too fluffy and loose.
Oh, J-Law's giving her the fucking "you're dead to me" look. She looks like Kristen Wiig in that SNL sketch.
Yeah. So now she's like, are you scared of those guys? Are those guys you're scared of? I'm going to walk over there and say hello. Because they go into a bar and there's
gangsters.
like some serious gangsters there. So she goes over and she's like hobnobbing with the gangster and she kind of gets in with the ringleader.
And she's thrown off by the fact that the gangster talks like, "Hey, a flapper just walked in. She's gorgeous. I'm going to buy her a martini, see?
They're all feeding her drinks.
Stay away from her. I saw her first."
They're all kind of moving into their business meeting and Amy Adams is like, "You're fucking this up, J-Law." So then Irving walks into the room.
Oh my God, it's Robert De Niro. They never bargained for this. Oh shit.
Yep. And he was like a right-hand man of a huge Miami gangster.
Meyer Lansky. Meyer Lansky was the basis for Hyman Roth in Godfather Part 2. Well, he was a character in the movie Bugsy. Did you ever see Bugsy?
No, I have never seen Bugsy.
That's a good movie.
I've seen Dick Tracy. Isn't that the same thing?
They both star Warren Beatty, but aside from that, no.
They're both about gangsters. So they walk into this back room with the guy who's the right-hand man of Meyer Lansky, who's played by Robert De Niro. And Irving is like visibly shitting his pants.
Yep.
Clearly not enough for them to be too concerned, although the De Niro character is picking up on something being off.
Yes.
And so he starts challenging the Sheik, and this is one of my favorite parts because the first time we watched this movie...
It's a super tense scene.
Super tense. And the first time we watched it, I was like, holy shit, this is where it all goes down. This is where it goes wrong. So now they're saying if you want this gambling license, you got to make the Sheik an American citizen. The problem is he doesn't fucking exist. He's fake. So Carmine's like, okay, yeah, we can expedite citizenship.
This is a fake Sheik.
Oh, God. So now Bradley's thinking, like, now I'm going to go back to my boss, Louis C.K., and ask him for shit. I hope he doesn't pull his wang out.
I hope he doesn't jerk off in front of me while I'm asking him this.
So now Irving's saying, I don't know if that's going to work. And De Niro's like, who's this guy?
Who's this asshole?
With the bad comb over. So he's basically making a call that, like, I hope this Sheik is real. I hope this thing's good. I hope everything's okay.
I'm going to kill you.
Right. Basically, you know, if this isn't good, you are all fucked. And so Michael Pena is sitting there completely dead, stone-faced.
Yep.
And everyone else is panicked. And he starts speaking to him in one of the Arab dialects.
Yeah.
And they're all like, fuck, he's screwed.
Shit.
And Michael Pena sits there very calmly and pauses for a long time. And as you're watching this for the first time, you're panicking. And he says, do you hear what I said? Do you want me to repeat it in the Arab dialect? Yep. I forget which one. The Sheik stands up and responds in the correct dialect. It'll be great doing business with you. The investment is real. It was a pleasure to meet
Michael
you.
Pena is a fucking hell of an agent.
Yep. So now, in the middle of this...
Oh my God. It's a cat. It's a good old-fashioned cat fight.
So Edith is like, you don't know what you're doing. You're going to fuck up this whole thing. And so she goes up and she's giving a lot of shit to Rosalind there, the wife. So now she goes flying into the bathroom to deal with her business, kind of catch her composure again. And who comes out of the pooper? Oh, into the pooper.
Into the poop. Whoa! Who comes into the pooper?
Hey.
This got
so now
dirty.
they come in and they're having a little bit of a standoff in the bathroom.
And you know it, and I know it, and he knows it, and you love it, and I love it, and you love it, and he loves it. And you know you love it, and you love knowing it, and I love knowing it.
Right. And Edith kind of rips into Rosalind, and she's like, he loves me, he doesn't love you, and you know it, and I know it, and... You know, maybe it's over, but we had something real, and Rosalind is like in tears. And then she goes barreling out of the bathroom.
Breaks down in front of Jack Dawson.
Yeah. No, Billy Zane.
He does look like Billy Zane.
Yeah. So she goes bolting out of the bathroom like I just owned her. And then as soon as she sees the gangster guy, she loses her shit and melts into a puddle. But they got out safe.
Yep.
All because he learned Arabic just in case.
Yep.
Because Michael Pena is the damn bomb.
He's a good man and
he
thorough.
Is thebomb.com. Is that current?
Not at all.
Is that anywhere near as current as your Jersey Shore reference?
I think my Jersey Shore reference was more current than
Let's
that.
look it up. Kelly looks stuff up on Google.
Well, you'll probably not find anything because you've been terrible on Google tonight.
I have not been great. Okay, let's see. Thebomb.com origin.
This is how old we are, people.
A way to refer to any person, event, or thing which a person finds very
I
cool
think people know what it is. Just say when it started.
or enjoyable. The phrase "the bomb" became popular in the 90s. The addition of .com refers to the ending of many websites' URL, .com.
We understand the fucking etymology of it. Just say when.
That entry in the neologisms website was December 4th, 2011.
That's not at all accurate.
Urban Dictionary had an entry on November 15th, 2006.
2006 sounds about right.
Jersey Shore, first episode. 2009.
Yep, I beat you. Mm-hmm. I am more cool than you are.
That is the bomb.com.
Richie and his boss have come to a head.
He's calling him from Edith's apartment.
He's like, I need a whole floor of this fucking hotel for this operation.
And he's kind of like off the chain here. He's sort of losing it. He's getting more and more manic. And the more manic he gets, the more sort of swaggy he dresses, like he's climbing up the ladder. But right now, he's kind of having a tantrum. And Edith is looking a little bit worried.
He might try to rape me
right
later today.
Like he's got the roid rage right now. And so she's looking calm on the surface, but she's scratching her arm like she's freaked out.
And he's making...
He's like grunting at her.
He's growling.
Right, and he's like, I need this. And she's like, no. But right now, she's not pushing him off for any other reason, but she's like scared shitless, and she doesn't actually want him anymore.
Right.
Like she's definitely back on the Irving train.
Because he's lost his cool.
And he's like, he tried to drop the I love you, hoping that maybe that was going to get her pants off.
Yeah.
But she's not in junior high anymore. Okay, Rich? So he's asking her for real, and she's afraid she's not going to get out of this now, so she decides to break character.
I'm not even English.
And he's pissed. He like grabs her face because
now he's pissed because he can't believe he fell for that shit.
Right. It's an interesting risk that she's taken because she actually gives him her real name, where she's from.
Yep.
She's taking the chance that he's not going to put her in jail.
Yep.
So she's trying to like say, Edith was what I needed to survive. You perm your hair and shit.
You have a fiance you don't even care about.
You have a fiance you don't care about that brings over Neapolitans, which I didn't explain earlier. It's a dessert. It's got layers of graham crackers and custard and like
beef
chocolate.
sautéed with peas and onions.
Yeah. Right, and he's like,
he's like,
that's
I still want to
okay.
fuck you.
I'm just gonna put it in you, and then we'll worry about it later.
Like, no,
so now she's
the
like,
whole point of me
shit.
telling you this was no.
Right, so she did it to get out of it, and now she's scared. And then it's great because he goes into like a rage scream, and she smashes him in the head with a picture frame. Then somebody walks in, and who is it?
Irving.
Oh, it's Irv.
Oh, he's got a gun.
Oh yes, they both. Oh yes, they both.
What?
It's from Chicago.
Oh.
And now Edith is like so fucked up. She's panicked and she's like, whatever, all this shit just went down. I don't even care. I'm gonna go pee. Oh yes, they both. Oh yes, they both. Oh yes, they both. Reach for the gun.
Ridiculous fucking show.
Is this the whole can of wine?
No.
Bonus! Did you put the rest of it in the fridge?
It's like, boom, second drink. No, it's on the counter.
I don't like warm white wine.
That's alliteration. If the wine were to say, I don't like being warm, that would be automatopoeia.
What? That's not true.
Yes, it is. An inanimate object being given human feelings and emotions and speech.
I thought that onomatopoeia was when, or a word was created for the sound that it makes, like vroom. Justin looked stuff up on Google because he wants to tell his wife that she's wrong, but she's not.
Because I'm better than you at Google.
It's like vroom or beep
How do you
or
spell it?
meow.
How do you spell automatopoeia?
I believe it is ONOMATOPEIA.
Oh, no, you're right. I was thinking of anthropomorphic.
Yep. Oh, yes, they both. Hey, listen.
They both thought they knew the word, but she was right. She was the right.
Guess what?
What?
I'm like Rosalind. I might appear dumb, but I'm fucking smart.
You might appear dumb. You might automatopoeia dumb.
I'm clapping because that was actually a pretty good joke. Fuck you.
Later.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh,
There's
this
a
is
gun.
intense.
So Irving has a gun. Richie has been hit in the face with a picture frame. So he calls his boss and says, you're going to be the friggin' sweet. So he suggests that he's going to go beat up his boss. And then he hangs up the phone, and guess what? He goes and beats up his boss. It's awesome. Irving's in the bathroom having a little bit of a heart fever.
And he's saying, why did you make it look like you were going to fuck that guy? And she was like, I was committing to the part.
Right.
Like you always said.
Right.
She's like, you didn't fully commit. You were still dealing with your stupid wife.
Right. And she, you kind of left me hanging, so I had to do what I had to do. And now he's almost a little bit impressed with her because she pulled it off.
Okay. You're better at this than me. Listen to this guy. He's channeling Christopher Walken like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, he's not great either, actually.
No, he's awesome. It's like, wow. You can't believe your subordinate would talk to you like that, but it gets results. You can't argue.
So
they don't actually
Louis
show him
C.K.
beating his ass?
They do. Louis C.K. is recounting the story of how he got the shit beat out of him by his subordinate.
That's right.
And he's doing like an actual recorded testimony in his boss's office. And Bradley Cooper is like mansplaining him and gaslighting him. And
That's right.
Yeah.
He beats him up with his own phone.
Yep. It's hard for me to control my passion. I'm a very passionate person.
So, you want to use the Sherman Suite, the entire hotel. Boy, that's impressive. You can have the Sherman Suite.
He beats up his boss. His boss is giving an actual recorded testimony. And he's like, yeah, but I'm still going to give you the suite. So he beats up his boss and gets what he wants anyway. It's very Louis C.K. of him.
I'm proud of you. Good for you.
So
Carmine
now
Polito.
They're doing a series of briefcase drops. And, Carmine's pledging on my life, on my family, on my kids.
Yeah.
And Irving's like, no, don't do that.
Don't ever swear on your family. That's never a good idea.
And now, his con shit is catching up with him, and he's, impacting someone he cares about. And so the wife's a little bit of a wild card right now. Because she's going on a date with the gangsta. He looks like the W.B. Mason guy.
Can I get you a champagne and a ream of paper?
How about some highlighters and maybe a few pens?
We're having a sale on staplers this week.
But he's got her thoroughly wrapped around his finger, and it's a good thing for Irving, really, because he needs her out of the picture.
You look like you need to be shown a good time. Who better than W.B. Mason?
He gives her a fistful of cash and says, I'm going to have to go talk to your husband. I'm sorry. And that line, she delivers this line, I don't like change. It's really hard for me. And it is a perfect depiction of what you described earlier, where she's so good at what she does that she's playing something that's kind of beyond her years. And how she delivers that line is well beyond her years. But she does it in such a beautiful way because you can tell she's kind of conning him. Like, that was not genuine in any way, shape, or form. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Right.
She plays it amazingly. And that's the hard part about her, is that you're almost always thinking that's J-Law being awesome, not she's sinking into the character.
Right.
And then she performs Live and Let Die, and it's amazing.
Live and let die.
And her child is watching her anger clean.
You just say, live and let live.
Wrong version. Okay, so now Irving's home, and she's like, uh-oh, I'm in trubs. The boyfriend picks her up. The nail polish was in the car. He's getting a lecture. Then they canvas bagged him, held a gun to him. And then she puts on the, I don't know what you're talking about. So now she went from playing dumb to like, well, of course I did this on purpose.
Right.
It's awesome.
You've ruined my life.
Perfect. He's like, I have an idea. She's like, oh yeah, when'd you get the idea? Oh, when your boyfriend's hands are on my fucking neck. And she's like, oh, see? I knew I just needed to do the right thing to motivate you. It's a good thing I said something. She's a genius. So they go and visit the attorney, Alphonse Simone, the three of them. And Taleggio doesn't show up, and it's just the lawyer, and they say, here's the wire number.
Yep.
And
they're like, no, we still have to do it.
And Irving and Edith are like, I mean, this kind of thing happens, and we'll figure it out. We can't make decisions like this. So Edith is like, it's all good. Let's call the sheik. And so at this point in the movie, you're looking at it like, Irving and Richie walk out together, and she's calling them both back in.
Yep.
So it's hard to tell exactly what's going on here right now.
Oh my God, she's mic'd.
So they're having a really detailed conversation about what's going to happen next. So
the lawyer's just feeding him everything he wants to hear.
Right. So then he calls the sheik, quote unquote.
Who is his actual
the
boss?
Sheik's his actual boss. And so poker faceless Bradley Cooper is like, oh, that's very interesting. Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. Because he knows that he's just gotten everything he needs to get these guys in trouble. So he makes the call with the wire number that he picks up himself with his hand, calls his boss, does the wire transfer, and now he has completed his mission.
Yep.
So he thinks. So it seems as though everything's gone the way it's supposed to. Bradley Cooper gets back to the office. He's celebrating. Louis C.K. is completely deflated. And Bradley Cooper's got his glasses on, and he looks awesome, and he's shaking hands.
There's a video of Louis C.K. talking about Inside the Actors Studio, saying no one on that show, like none of the audience members are ever going to be anything.
Right, and they ask these questions, and they're so lame.
And then they cut to a clip of Bradley Cooper on Inside the Actors Studio. And then they cut to this of him.
It is pretty awesome.
Like roasting Louis C.K. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I cannot think of a better chameleon than Bradley Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Because then he goes into Guardians of the Galaxy as Rocket, and I spent an entire movie not having a fucking clue who it was.
Yep.
In the first movie. I knew in the second movie. I'm not dumb.
Yeah, that would be bad if you didn't.
That would be concerning. So now Irving goes to Carmine's house to confess because he feels awful.
I'm sorry.
And I think he thinks it's going to go well.
You're completely fucked, and it's my fault.
But it does not go well. And it honestly broke my heart to watch this. I was like, oh, but I wanted it to work out. You want them to be friends. Carmine is actually a good guy. Mm-hmm. And Irving fucks him over. He's like, I walked out, and you brought me back in.
Yeah.
And that's the heartbreak, is that he's like, everything that I've done is for the people of New Jersey. So, yeah, I'm breaking the law, but I'm doing it for them. And it's like, oh, he's right.
Batman conspired with Rocket to fuck over Hawkeye.
Oh, my God.
All while being married to Mystique.
And Lois Lane was involved.
Lois Lane was involved.
When's Carmine's wife going to be in a Marvel movie? She could be a pretty hot superhero. Yep. So then Irving comes out, and he's basically having a heart attack. This is the moment where it sort of becomes clear that they're like very much in love.
Yeah.
Because he basically almost dies on the sidewalk, and she's like, I'm in it. I'm staying
Superman
with
is
you.
going to be really pissed at Batman when he finds out he's cutting in on his action.
But Martha!
Why
did you say that name? So now we got Louis C.K.
Please, come in, sit down.
We got boss number 2 and Louis C.K. We got Bradley Cooper, and then Irving and Sidney walk in the room.
And then he says, how many high-profile white-collar criminals did you help us catch? About 80. Seems high. Maybe 4.
Really overshot it with the 80.
Really overshot it. You nabbed a few candy bars. Some houseplants.
The big boss says, we got an anonymous phone call that says that for a reduced sentence for Carmine Polito and immunity for the two of you.
we get our $2 million back.
Right. And he's like, oh, that's it. That's very interesting. That's interesting. So basically, they tricked Richie into picking up the wire. Like, he picked up the piece of paper.
Right.
He made the phone call. He did the transfer. So technically, they're not culpable.
Right.
And you know what's awesome about that? It allowed me to use the word culpable, which is really fun to say.
The DC characters pulled the wool over the eyes of the Marvel characters.
And then it occurs to him that all of it was a scam. What I can't tell from this scene is whether Edith has a little bit of pity. I feel like she does a little bit.
Maybe a little.
But he really pulls the wind out of Bradley Cooper's sails. Yep. And you know who couldn't be happier about it?
Louis C.K.
Yeah. Basically, at the end, he's like, some of them knew what they were doing. Some of them really were trying to help. And he
She's
says
not brown-eyed there.
Oh, she wasn't?
No.
That's bad continuity.
Blue eyes there.
Hey, David O. Russell. That's why you didn't win an Oscar.
You're a hack.
And so at the end, Bradley Cooper gets nothing.
These two get their lives back.
J-Law and Irving split up, and they seem to be in a pretty amicable co-parenting situation these days. Yeah. And then she gives him the nail polish and says, I don't need this anymore.
I don't need this anymore. You can sniff it and masturbate if you want. Well, that's what he does with it, I'm sure. What?
Those of you who can't see me, which is all of you, I'm looking at Justin with an extremely
That's clearly what he does with the nail polish, Kelly.
No!
No, then he decides, you know what? I don't need it anymore. Finish with that.
Yeah.
Then they went legit as an art gallery.
And while they
And then they
started the
listened to
movie with
Duke
Jeeps
Ellington.
Jeeps Blue,
Jeeps Blues.
Blue Jeeps, they ended the movie with Blue Jeeps.
Was it the Jeep Cherokee or the Jeep Liberty or the Jeep Grand Cherokee?
Just the plain Jeep.
Oh,
And when you turn it upside down, it says beer.
it says deer.
Yeah, but then you flip the B.
But you have to flip the B in order. That doesn't make any fucking sense. It says deer upside down.
I didn't say it made sense. I just said people did it.
It says deer. What's wrong with you?
I saw it on the internets.
The fucking internet is full of morons.
Are you calling me Jennifer Lawrence?
What?
So the movie's over. And in this
So the movie's over. Good night.
in this movie, we learned that everyone in this movie is some kind of comic book character. Yeah. So anyway, with all of that said, comic book heroes, check. Gorgeous makeup and costuming and more or less adherence to the era, check.
Cleavage.
Weird Titanic guy, check. Robert De Niro as a gangster, check.
As a terrifying gangster.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And Delilah karaoke, check.
It's an excellent film.
Yeah.
Probably should have won at least one Oscar.
Yeah, it's a shame that it didn't. What beat it in all of the categories? You should know this off the top of your head because this is the kind of shit you remember.
I don't know it off the top of my head. I mean, 2013, who won Best Actor? Fuck. 12 Years a Slave obviously and rightly won Best Picture.
That was the same year.
Yeah. It was a stacked year.
Our son turned 2 and we saw a bajillion movies. That was when we found Babysitters Ripe on
Matthew
Trees.
McConaughey won for Dallas Buyers Club.
Right, another really good movie.
Kate Blanchett won for Blue Jasmine. That was well deserved. Jared Leto also won for Dallas Buyers Club.
Are you?
Lupita Nyong'o won for 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, she was so good.
All of those awards were well deserved.
Totally.
Spike Jonze won Best Original Screenplay for Her.
Oh, that was good.
John Ridley won Best Adapted Screenplay for 12 Years a Slave. This movie was against so many other great movies.
I don't disagree with any of those wins.
No, I don't either. Everyone in this movie is great. They were all outmatched that year by other people.
Well, the other movies that year
just
were
slightly
fantastic. If this had come out a different year,
yes, it would have swept.
That might have been different, yeah. But from start to finish, this is a really fun, compelling movie to watch. I have a really hard time taking my eyes off the screen for any second because everyone is so interesting to look at.
Yep.
And the one person who's terrible happens to be only on screen for 10 seconds when she says, "Richard, I'm your fiance."
Richard, I'm your fiance. I think you're not very nice to me. You should take the things out of your hair because they make you look ridiculous.
Also, I brought some Neapolitans. Eat them before they get soggy.
The Mike Brady thing was out about 10 years ago.
The Brady Bunch was out in 78.
No, it wasn't. It was the late 60s, early 70s. It was done by 72.
Really?
Yes!
This took a weird turn, so I think we're going to say goodnight now. Good night. Good night.
Good night!
Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Visit us at enougha.com where you can buy official merch. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.